If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Hi, I'm Mike Delaney. When elected mayor, backed by 8 years of direct action with the people as council president and decades of professional experience, I will establish a new roadmap for our city based on the needs and concerns garnered from your doorsteps. Standing alongside you as a fellow citizen, I will lead as a trustee of our tax dollars with a keen attention to detail, committed to setting policies that will improve the delivery of all city services, holding our government accountable. Send the right candidate to the general this year. June 27th, vote Mike Galimi for mayor.
Paid for by Mike for Mayor.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Just talking about blowing a. Actually, what happened yesterday is Buck Showalter sat our relief pitchers, the New York Mets relief pitchers yesterday, and decided to go with the B team. You know, you got a pretty good lead. You should be okay. And as if that game wasn't incredibly important to win a series for a change. And the Mets blow it.
Brutal. So 7-6 was the final as they go down to the Phillies. They dropped 2 out of 3 in the series. And
this is the thing that to keep an eye on is that if you look at the games that the Mets are losing, it's not your traditional 1-0, 2-1. It's the offense is performing. It's just we have no relief pitching to take care of any win. It's just brutal. All right, Craig Flint is standing by on the line right now. Get an update from a really weird weekend. In terms of Friday and Saturday, Friday, of course, we got rain. Saturday, we ended up with a lot of rain. But, Craig, there were some areas that didn't get rain at all on Saturday.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Typical,
well,
I guess.
That's very typical how it goes in summer. Good morning to you guys. Rain is random in the summer. It's very hard to get kind of a widespread area of wet weather in the summer, although some areas did pick up quite a bit. And some of those storms were locally heavy. You know, it was a case of feast or famine. You know, some areas picking up maybe a couple tenths of an inch of rain, and then other areas, you know, had upwards of an inch or more of rain, depending on where those thunderstorms develop and move through. That's always the tricky part when it comes to forecasting summertime wet weather. You know, who gets it? And it's almost impossible to predict where exactly these things will form. But that was the case this weekend, and probably will be the case again today. I'm still in the same weather pattern today. Go ahead.
Clouds coming through in some areas, heavy rain. Other areas might not get anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. And we're just in this pattern where I made I have been kind of making this joke and making light of it. It is truly a cop-out forecast. Partly cloudy, chance of showers and thunderstorms.
Right.
That's what it is this week.
every day this week, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, towards the end of the week, it will lessen, you know, in terms of the rainfall. So, you know, once we get towards Thursday and Friday, I think the showers will become much more isolated, if not end completely. And at that point, I think the humidity is finally going to lower as well. And that's kind of been the other feature here is the humidity has just been so super high. Any of these showers and storms that develop, like I said, some of them have locally heavy rain and downpours, and you get ponding out on the roadways and all sorts of stuff like that. But it looks like the humidity will finally start to lower, and we get a little bit of relief. It'll feel a little bit better towards late in the week.
All right. Well, listen, this does feel more like something we get in late July than we would in June.
Yeah. It's a little bit early, but here we are.
Here we are
now, and so it goes, Billy Joel.
And so it goes. All right, Craig, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. And of course, you'll be with us coming up on Wednesday night at Babes for the National Anthem contest. Anybody willing or able to sing the National Anthem and feels like they could do it at the post-race party of the Boilermaker, there's a tryout Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Babes, and we'll be seeing you there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone and hanging out with you guys.
All right, cool. All right, Craig Flint, thank you. Have a wonderful day and a great week.
See you then. Bye-bye.
Right. Craig Flint from WUTR. We got, I can say this, we have green grass. And prior to this weekend, there was still some brown out there, but the grass has mended itself, or at least the rain has assisted in mending the grass.
Yeah, I kind of missed a little bit of a window. So I was doing the thing where I was watering my lawn, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, because it was so dry and it was starting to turn brown. I thought I partially saved it, and then certainly the weekend, the rain we've gotten over the past week has helped out tremendously. But I also needed to level some spots in my lawn, and I haven't done that. And I was going to do it Friday, and then I waited. And then my point being, I could have leveled it and then laid the grass seed on it and wouldn't have had to worry about watering it myself because we got plenty Friday, part of the day Saturday, and depending on where you were Sunday. And I guess we're getting more rain this week, so I can try it today.
One of those things that you don't want is it to rain really, really hard like it has. And because sometimes it can wash the seed away. So maybe you're better off. Larry is on the line, ready to gloat. Hello, Larry. Good morning.
Hey, Bill, you ready to give up on the season yet?
I am not. It's not over yet.
Really?
I could listen. You can't give up until August.
Well,
I
know deadline, so that's when they got to be sellers, not buyers.
Well, I don't know. I got to tell you, are they going to be selling or are they going to be buying? All the stories are pointing towards buying some relief pitching.
You need a lot more than that, but here's the contest you should have, Bill. When the Mets reach 500, or if they ever do.
Yeah, you may be right. Listen, you may.
Think about this. They're 7 games under. They got to win 7 consecutive series. Is 2 out of 3. You go 14-7, you're 500. You know that's not happening. 7 straight series.
Well, all I can tell you is tell that to the Nationals or to Philadelphia. I mean, there's no reason why a team can't get hot and come back. I mean,
correct.
It may not happen. It may not happen this year.
Yeah, but everybody's saying that. But the problem is those had pretty good teams. This team is not a good team, and they keep saying they're better than they're playing. They're not. Your record is what you are. So if they would admit they're a bad team, I don't think the fans would be that bad. But don't keep saying that you're a good team.
Yeah, I disagree with that, but we'll find out, though. I guess we'll know, right?
Well, they're only about 14, 15 games out of first and probably 7 or 8 out of the wild card. So,
listen, I know this might
Larry, take the win.
I know this
take
might,
the win, Larry.
I know this might be shocking, but Larry's a Mets fan.
Yeah.
But I'm a realist.
But you're a realist. You're a realist.
Right.
Yes, I get it.
I don't look at them with rose-colored glasses. I watch what's on the field, and then you determine whether they're good or not.
All right. Well,
now let me ask you this, Bill. Ohtani is maybe a free agent next year. So if the Mets are interested, what does the agent go into the Mets and say? I need $80 million a year, $70 million.
Yeah.
He's a two-way. He's a player that pitches and plays the field, and you got Dead Wood. You're giving $40 and $30 million to a year.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you something. The Mets have invested in older. Now Scherzer has actually come through. And pitched very well. When you think about it, the starters have pitched pretty well through this season. It's the relief pitching that's the problem. And I mean, think about it. We're scoring runs, Larry.
Right.
I mean, you're scoring runs. Yesterday, Beatty had a horrible mental brain freeze yesterday and blew a double play that should have happened, which really set the comeback for Philadelphia. But for the most part, I mean, you have a solid team short of relief pitching. I don't think it's as bad as your. I mean, it's bad, but I don't think it's terminal, I guess is what I would say.
Okay, well, you'll let me know when you finally give up on it. Maybe August, you said you'll give up.
Well, it'll be right about time to start saying, let's hope the Bills don't blow it this year.
Right, that'll be it.
Yeah, and listen, chances are you're absolutely right.
Right. Well,
right.
We'll see.
Okay, we will see, Larry. It's almost all right. Have a great day, Larry. It's almost as if it's my fault. He's like he wants me to join the bandwagon and say it's all over. But then remember, this is a call that he gave us a month ago, 2 months ago, right?
Yeah, Larry had early money on this, if you will. He was one of the first to call it when they were stumbling a bit, and I think they were still above 500 at the time.
They were. I think he had said that the Mets will be 10 games back at the All-Star break. Something like
Nagel
that.
says that every year.
But I do think that Larry's pretty accurate on that. What's the All-Star game? July 10th, 11th this year?
I'll double check that, but I just wanted to note here is your point about the dead wood, or he said dead wood, meaning the bats. Yesterday's loss, three walks. They hit two guys and made an error in the eighth inning. That's not the bats. That's
correct.
Your
correct.
defense and your pitching.
and when you're losing games by and scoring 7, 8, 9, 10 runs, that's not the bats.
Correct.
You should be able to win those games if you can score that many runs.
Yeah, so the All-Star game, by the way, I believe is Tuesday the 11th. The Mets' final game before the All-Star break. They hit their road trip to the West Coast before the All-Star break this time. They'll be in Arizona and San Diego. Their last game before the break is July 9th. So we still got about 2 weeks of baseball before the All-Star break.
Well, it would have been the first series the Mets have won in almost a month, and it looked like they had it in the bag yesterday. And to lose that game was just terrible. I got a break. Hold on. 7:29 coming up. We'll speak with Ben Simons and talk about a little update. I'd want to get an update on the worst thing in the world, says some people. The smell when they bring out that liquid manure, usually just in time for somebody to have a graduation party. But we may have a solution. We'll get an update on that coming up in a second.
Also, June is Dairy Month.
We'll also tell you that today, $300. Hobica's free money question of the day. $300 jackpot that we'll get to coming up in a second. And you know that tomorrow is primary day. No voting today, no early voting today. But tomorrow, 6 a.m. until 9 p.m., this has been a pretty active primary, right? Especially in Utica and Rome with some big mayoral races, Republicans and Democrats. The primary is tomorrow, 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. 7:30 at WIBX.
We all like convenience, right? ATMs, takeout food, drive-through pharmacies. Now, Bremer's is making it just as convenient to enjoy your favorite wines and spirits with Bremer's to go. It's simple. Place your order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 on your first order with our mobile app. Order before 5 p.m. for pickup the same day. Hey, you could even call us when you get to the store and we'll bring your order right out and load it in the car for you. Now that's convenience. Maybe you're planning a party. Maybe you want to stock up on your favorite wines. Or you just want to save time when you're out and about. Whatever the reason, at Bremer's, we're all about incredible customer service. So when you're on the go, we are too. Order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 with our mobile app. Order before 5 p.m. for pickup the same day. It's Bremer's to go, available 7 days a week from Bremer's Wine and Liquor on Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
I'm Celeste Friend. I'm running for mayor of Utica because I believe in Utica. Our city is growing. People are coming here to invest in our future. People are coming home to where they grew up to raise their own families. Let's keep growing and create a future for all of us. Please vote for me in this June's Democratic primary. Early voting starts June 17th. Election Day is June 27th.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Celeste Friend.
All right, we have cloudy skies, 69 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:31. This news update is brought to you by Country Suburban. The U.S. Coast Guard is launching a formal investigation into the deadly implosion of the Titan submersible that killed all 5 on board last week. The investigation was announced during a news conference Sunday in Boston. Captain Jason Neubauer is leading the probe, which he said is currently in the evidence collection phase. Russian mercenary leader Yevgeny Prigozhin apparently still faces charges for leading an armed insurrection over the weekend. Prigozhin led his men, the Wagner Group, into Russia, but stopped short of reaching Moscow. He reportedly struck a deal to have charges dropped and go into exile in Belarus, but state media is saying today that those charges are still in place, citing a source in the Prosecutor General's office in Russia. Senator Amy Klobuchar says the fallout from Roe v. Wade being overturned is exactly as she predicted 1 year ago. Appearing on CNN's State of the Union, the Minnesota Democrat said the U.S. now has a patchwork of abortion laws that varies from state to state. Saturday marked exactly 1 year since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned its landmark Roe v. Wade decision. The Republican chair of the House Intelligence Committee wants data released related to a COVID-19 probe to be declassified. Ohio Congressman Mike Turner saying on CBS's Face the Nation that Friday's report from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence was, quote, not sufficient, end quote. Turner said the report summarized the findings instead of providing specific details. The probe investigated a possible link between China's Wuhan Institute of Virology and the origin of the COVID-19 virus. Southwest Airlines reaching a tentative deal with the union representing mechanics and aircraft inspectors. The agreement announced on Friday must be approved by some 2,800 workers. The airline is still negotiating deals with pilots and flight attendants. And the 2023 Men's College World Series Championship, the champion, I should say, gets crowned tonight. The second-seeded Florida Gators crushed fifth-seed LSU 24-4 in Game 2 of the College World Series Championship Series on Sunday. The 24 runs scored were the MCWS record for a single game. LSU and Florida meet at the Charles Schwab Field in Omaha for a decisive Game 3 coming up later tonight. WIBX News Time, 7:34. Your Weather Center forecast calling for chances of rain showers and thunderstorms for much of the day today, and some storms could produce small hail, gusty winds, and heavy rainfall. Today's high, though, reaching 83 degrees. Tonight, more showers and thunderstorms. We'll have an overnight low of 65. Tuesday, chance of showers and thunderstorms with, again, the possibility of some storms producing gusty winds and heavy rain. Tomorrow's high, 79 degrees. And then it's rinse and repeat here. Wednesday, showers and possibly a thunderstorm, a high of 73. Thursday, showers and possibly a thunderstorm, a high of 78. And again, it's early, but Friday says chance of showers, otherwise mostly sunny, with a high of 83. Bill, right now we have some clouds. Rain shower chances begin in a couple of hours, and we are at 69 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:35.
A lot of graduation parties over the weekend, and you saw people with not only did they have tents, but they were trying to put up their own tents that were covering everybody from the rain, because the rain came down right around graduation time for a lot of districts in the area. But there were some areas that didn't get any rain at all on Saturday. And then it just turned cloudy, and it wasn't that bad for the rest of the day, at least where we were. And then yesterday was just beautiful, and I don't think they were calling that yesterday.
No, they weren't. And it's funny because Richard emailed me this morning. I made the comment, I unless my neighbor or one of my, a couple of them got together and hosed down my driveway and my sidewalks. We got a little rain in New York Mills yesterday. There's no question. Because when I got home, I had a soaking wet driveway.
I had rain
Commercial
yesterday.
Drive was wet.
Just so you know, I had rain yesterday as well.
And you're in New Hampshire.
So, but it was one cloud that came through, and it was just a little sprinkling, and the sun was, you could see the sun shining in the distance, but there was just a little bit of rain that came through. So I can vouch for it. I was in it, and just covered up with an umbrella, and it went away. It was pretty good.
Well, I hope we get the same today. I hope we get but they're saying we could see some gusty winds, maybe even hail and a severe thunderstorm. So
if you
hopefully
saw
that
out
doesn't happen.
in Colorado the hail they received during that concert at Red Rocks, there were like 15 people that went to the hospital.
Oh my goodness!
It
was raining moon rocks in Red Rocks.
It was large hailstones, and that area you're out in the open. I mean, it's there's really nowhere to get any cover, and there were several people that were injured. That happened last week. Davey,
that's literally like dropping like a golf ball off of the
kind of like
Empire
that
State Building.
Davey, we're going with caller number what this morning?
Caller 5.
Fifth caller through the lines. Jackpot this morning for Hobica's free money question of the day is at $300. $300. Caller number 5 right now. Fifth caller at 315-736-0186 from Hobica Law Firm and WIBX.
Paid for by friends of Bob Cardillo. Galimi clip courtesy Talk of the Town 100.7 FM.
How can he really do that?
I don't know. How do you work 2 jobs, serve 2 bosses? I mean, being mayor is full-time enough.
And what's your real job? Being mayor or your private sector work?
Remember what he said on the radio.
Yes, I will be spending 10 hours, so many hours, making sure I could fund a 401k so I could still keep my private sector retirement.
Being mayor is a full-time job. You need to be committed to be mayor. I'll be a full-time mayor for a full-time job. Let's cut crime, combat inflation, and keep our college graduates local. Vote Bob Cardillo, primary day, June 27th. I'm Bob Cardillo, and I approve this message.
Are you in the market for a vehicle that's like new but don't want to break the bank? Look no further than GM certified pre-owned vehicles at Steve Ponte Chevrolet. With rates as low as 3.9% for 36 months on select models, you can find new roads without the high price tag. Check out the 2021 Chevy Trax LT all-wheel drive with only 13,000 miles, or the 2020 Chevy Equinox LS all-wheel drive with only 31,000 miles. With a 6-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and an additional 1-year bumper-to-bumper limited warranty, you can drive with confidence knowing your vehicle is covered. Why wait? Visit us online anytime at StevePonteChevy.com to browse our complete inventory. Steve Ponte Chevrolet, Route 28 in Herkimer. See why it's always easy to do business at Steve Ponte Chevrolet, your family-owned and operated dealership.
Customer must qualify top tier through GM Financial. All taxes and fees due on delivery. Must take delivery by June 30th, 2023.
More and more people are turning to Wheelock Disposal for their trash pickup and recyclables. Let's hear from their happy customers why they love Wheelock Disposal service. Here's Mike in Whitesboro.
So why am I a customer of Wheelock Disposal? We've been a customer for approximately 12 years. They pick up our garbage on time. The cans are always put back up right. Any garbage that has fallen out, they pick up. I drive for a living, so I'm in a lot of different neighborhoods, and I see their trucks doing the same thing. Their drivers are professional drivers and do a great job, and that's why we love Wheelock Disposal.
And now, let's hear from Dick in New Hartford.
Hi, I'm Dick Timpano. Why do I love Wheelock Disposal? Because it's easy to bring my garbage to the curb. Their friendliness, their cleanliness, and the responsibility they have to pick up my trash on time is incredible. That's why I love Wheelock Disposal.
Wheelock Disposal Service has a special introductory offer for all new customers. Check out WheelockDisposal.com. We love garbage.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
7:40, and we have Joe ready to take a shot here at our free money question of the day from the Hobica Law Firm. $300 on the line, $300, and it's from Joseph and Andrew Hobica and the Hobica Law Firm, 315-724-1600. And Joe, good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just for the record, this isn't Joe Hobica in Utica, right?
No.
Okay, trying to win his own money. I could see him doing that. All right, here we go. Are you ready? This is your question. You know the rules. You have 7 seconds to answer. Get your answer in before the buzzer goes off. And if you have to guess, make sure you get it in before the buzzer. Here you go. This comes from the category, It's in the News. It's in the news. And here is your question. Which television icon just started a new company called The Results Are In? Ready, go.
Company called The Results Are In. Ready, go.
A lot of buzzers, a lot of repeat going on there. Any idea you want to take a shot, Joe? The results are in.
The results are. Any idea you want to take?
Oh boy, that feedback is crushing.
You got to
Anybody?
listen on the phone, not your radio. You got to listen on the phone.
Yeah, because the radio, you're going to get a delay, and you'll never have a shot at getting in there. Anybody on that? You want to take a shot?
Is it? Did he pass away? Is it Maury Povich?
That's exactly the answer.
Maury
It's Maury
Povich.
Povich.
I could just see him.
And he
Ben,
is.
The results are in.
And he is not dead.
He's not dead. It was Jerry Springer who passed away.
Jerry Springer passed away. We'll give you the all-in-one food and fun card from Aquavino, Babe, 72, Taylor and the Cook, and the concession stands along with at the Adirondack Bank Center, along with Cookies, Q, and Creamery. Joe, stand by. Davey's going to hook you up, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks. Yeah, you got to be careful, number one, not to take care of him, not to listen on the radio because there's a delay.
Yeah, and when you only have 7 seconds to answer,
It's going to screw you up. But even beyond that, he didn't have the answer. But here's a little audio. Maury Povich is launching an at-home paternity test company called The Results Are In. He says, I've been around paternity testing for more than 20 years, so if anybody knows this business, I know this business. Here we go.
You are not the
Jeez.
Those are fun shows.
Yeah.
The answer, Maury Povich. Maury Povich for $300.
Now, does he have an option where he'll send a camera crew to your house and get the melee that ensues after
Do
the
not
results
believe
are
so.
opened?
Yeah, I don't think so. In studio right now, Ben Simons, and the month of June, and you've stacked these wonderful things in front of me here. Premium eggnog, chocolate dairy shake, regular whole milk, and also cappuccino milk. Ben, good morning.
Good morning, Bill and Jeff. How are you?
Now, these all come from Stewart's. Do they use local farmers?
They do. They use local farm milk. Stewart's shops, as you know, are on every street corner everywhere.
Yeah.
But they actually have a cluster of farmers, approximately 100 of them, in the Saratoga, Washington County area.
Okay.
Excuse me. And they do produce milk for their own processing plant. But then during the holidays, I'm proud to say, during like eggnog season, Thanksgiving time, Christmas, and a little bit of eggnog, it's on the store shelves now. When eggnog demand is high, Stewart's can't keep up with the amount of milk they need to run that special line of eggnog because during the holidays, eggnog flies off the shelf.
Right, right.
And I'm very proud to say that Boonville Farmers Co-op is one of their suppliers that they reach out to when they need an extra tractor-trailer load of tour milk to make eggnog.
Nice.
They give us a call. So
That's
yes.
great.
So I'm very proud to say that not only are they the best milk in New York State, and they pride themselves on that.
Yeah.
Also, Boonville Farmers Co-op also supplies milk, so I can
Very
say
nice.
that the farmers in Boonville is some of the best milk in New York State.
So the Boonville Farmers Co-op, that is a group of farmers from Boonville?
Yep, it's in around the Boonville area, Lee
Okay.
Center, yep,
All
and Remsen down my way.
Yeah, all right.
So I was actually up your way over the weekend. Let me ask you though, you mentioned the increased demand for eggnog during the holidays, so much so that I didn't even realize that it's available at other times of the year. I thought that was just a holiday treat.
And they just started that in the last year or two.
Okay, okay.
Because up until just a year or so ago, once the season was over, you could not get Stewart's eggnog.
I was going to say, I didn't think most places you can't get it.
But such a demand for eggnog. So
I
they
love
continue
eggnog.
to run it,
Oh,
and
God.
here we are. They're carrying it, but not in large quantities. It's just in those single-serve bottles.
Very nice. And, of course, during the holidays, they have it in the
half gallons and quarts and stuff like that. Yep.
So what happens during Dairy Month? That's
There's
what we're in the
been a
middle
lot.
of here.
I can tell you Oneida County has been very, very active. The very first part of the month there, June 2nd, we had Farm Fest at the Donito Farms. That was during the day was school programs, and then in the evening and the afternoon was open to the general public. Then on the twice this month here, the Findale Farm up in Holland Patton opened up their farm, and they called it the School Farm Days at the Findale Farm, and they had kindergartners one week, and the following week they had 8th graders come to the farm, and they gave them tours of the farm of how cows are fed, how they're housed, how they're well taken care of, and where your milk comes from the Holland Patton School District area. One day they had like 180-something children, and then the following week we had 8th graders, and it was in the 80 range. And I know that because I conducted all the hay rides.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And narration. Yep. And then on the 14th, the Oneida County Executive, Tony Paceni, declared with a proclamation to the Oneida County Dairy Princess Court, Oneida County June is Dairy Month. And so we're very, very happy that the county executive and the county legislature recognizes the magnitude of agriculture in Oneida County, because not every county gets that recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, the Findale Farm. And now here we are winding down June is Dairy Month. We're coming into July is Ice Cream Month. And I'm on the board of
That's
directors.
a month. That's a great month.
It is a great month.
Yeah.
And as you guys know, or some of you don't know, I'm on the board of directors of the Boonville-Oneida County Fair. So we're putting the final touches on planning the Boonville-Oneida County Fair. And I just want to mention to everybody here that the theme this year of the Boonville-Oneida County Fair is Christmas in July on the farm.
Okay.
So everybody's going to enjoy Christmas in July at the Boonville-Oneida
That's
County
a cool
Fair.
idea.
Last week in July.
It is the last weekend of July.
Last week in July, 25th to the 30th.
So I'm okay with you talking about the Boonville Fair, the Boonville Oneida County Fair, but talking about the state fair, it's been way too early. They've been promoting that way too early, because the state fair signifies the end of summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Summer, we're not even a week into it. We're 5 days into
That's
it.
right. Let's not
We're talking about the end already.
So I'm not into that, but and so that's what's been going on, and there's been a lot of open houses on different farms to promote June as Dairy Month. And then, of course, as you know, last week a lot of the schools opened up their schools to Tractor Day. Let the farm kids, the FFAs, the ag community show their support.
Yeah.
Holland Patton had a really large turnout. I heard Camden had a very huge turnout of tractors. And so it's nice to see the pride of the agriculture still alive in Oneida County.
You know, when I drive by VVS High School, they do a lot there with agriculture.
They do. The sheriff and I went out there here back a couple weeks ago and did a slow-moving vehicle sign seminar and safety on the road for those farm kids in the FFA program, which is called the Future Farmers of America program.
Yep.
And the sheriff and I go out and we do a little road show. I know he'll say, "Whoa, Ben, not a road show," but we do. We do a road show of the slow-moving emblem, that 3-sided fluorescent orange that people are using for driveway markers. And I just want to say they really are truly doing their farmer a disservice by displaying that 3-sided fluorescent orange triangle as a driveway marker or a mailbox marker. Because what happens is those SMV signs are designed to be seen 400 feet. If you're doing 55 miles an hour in your car, Bill, and a tractor's moving at 20, you have 7 seconds, proven fact, you have 7 seconds before you have impact at that rate of speed closing in on it. And what's happening is people are becoming very complacent with that slow-moving vehicle sign on a mailbox, and then they're just driving along, and they go, "Oh, it's just a mailbox marker." By the time you hit your brakes, you've rear-ended a big tractor. So,
trust me, you'll pay the price for that, not the
you
tractor.
will.
Now, I believe the Amish also use those on the back of their...
They do. There's a campaign out there to get the Amish to put those slow-moving vehicle signs on the back of their buggies to identify, because they're black.
Right,
you know, and they blend in.
Yep.
And the other thing, too, is the law has said that they got to put 72 inches worth of reflective material around the outside edge of a vehicle. So there's 6 feet, basically, of fluorescent around the edges. That's the law. But there's no law stating they have to have that SMV sign. That is a preference of our area.
Okay.
And the reason that some Amish factions don't believe in it, and I don't want to go political, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, because I am. Bright orange and red signifies the devil. It really does. And in their culture.
Okay.
So some of them are like, no, we don't want anything bright. We don't want anything orange, especially red and orange.
Right,
You follow
right.
me? But they are beginning to realize that this is a safety issue.
Yeah, there
for
have been every
their
year. It
family.
seems like we have another accident. There's another accident
and fatality.
Where,
When you hit one of those little buggies, Amish buggy versus your car, it's just devastating.
It's bad. Joe Lode, who will be Wednesday night, will also be at the National Anthem contest, singing contest at Babe, 6 p.m. If you think you have what it takes to sing the National Anthem at the post-race party of the Boilermaker, be there on Wednesday evening. Joe Lode on the Boonville Fair. Good morning, Joe.
I'm bringing a couple of ringers to that, just so you know. I got a couple of singers.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, Dave Olney is one of them, but I'm not going to give up the other one.
Okay, the other one, my guess is female.
It is a female, yes.
Yeah. I kind of think I know who you're talking about, but all right, we'll see. We will see. All right,
now,
Joe.
Listen, I am going to be at the Boonville County Fair this year, actually, on the second night, Wednesday night, at the, I think it's called the Hofbrau or whatever.
That
beer
is correct.
Tent. I'll be there DJing and having a ball, and I'm so excited to be welcomed into the Boonville community, you know. And I will say that every tractor up there in Boonville, they have those reflective signs on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is right. And thank you for coming to the Boonville Night of County Fair. And also our headliner this year.
They invited me.
There you go. Is going to be Chris Cagle. Is going to be our Saturday night.
Awesome.
Our
Yeah,
Saturday
very
night.
cool.
Chris Cagle. Yep, is
All
coming
right.
in and doing quite a concert. And the opening act is going to be Broken Rule.
All right, very cool. And Joe Lode, what night are you there?
I'm there on Wednesday night.
Okay, all right.
Wednesday, the 26th of July. Yep, it's the second night of the fair, and I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm telling you, Boonville to me, Bill, is like the Valley.
It kind of is. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Thank you very much. So everybody come out
again.
It's like going home. It's like heading home. All right, Joe, good stuff. We'll see you Wednesday night, man.
Sounds good. I can't wait to get to Babes Wednesday, like old times.
Just like the old days. All right. All right. Thank you, Joe. Joe Lode, big Boonville fan. Ben.
Thank you.
What is the raised brow or the Hofbrau or whatever?
The
Joe was...
Hofbrau is actually the beer tent.
Oh, okay.
It's the beer tent.
H-A-U-F.
Yep. H-U-A-F. or
H-U-A-F,
however you spell it.
however
But
it's-
the Hofbrau is the beer
Yeah.
tent. We have entertainment every single night at the Hofbrau. And it goes
Is that
to about,
just the locals coming in? You get entertained by look at this guy. I'm just
well,
kidding.
it ain't just the locals that come.
It
It's-
is the county fair.
It's the
It's
county.
awesome. I've gone every year for the last at least 5 because my little guy loves it up there. He loves to run around, do all the rides and stuff. And
There's a lot of changes being made this year to the Boonville Night of County Fair. One of them that I'm very much in charge of, myself and a young lady by the name of Cassandra Brooks, we're going to do an auction of the best of Oneida County. So if your listeners would like to make apple pies or if they own a restaurant and gift certificates, we're going to have an auction on Thursday night at 4 p.m. right in front of the Kiwanis building in the exhibit hall. And if it's raining, the weather's inclement, we're going to have it on the inside. And all the proceeds are going to go to the Oneida County 4-H Youth Program through
Okay.
Cooperative Extension. So anyone, just reach out to Farmer Ben Simons, and I'm very easy to find. Find me on Facebook or
All
whatever.
right. I want to go down the road. Last year we talked about the liquid manure, the odor that comes with it, how difficult it is, and found this company out of the Midwest, I believe.
Yep, Mr. Kramer. Tim
That
Kramer.
that is they allow. There's an additive in the silo which reduces the smell, supposedly.
Yep.
Have we gotten anywhere with that? And I know you reached out to them.
I have. So it went dormant for a while, the fella,
yeah.
Mr. Kramer did. And so I did reach out Friday after I got the call from you, Jeff, and I knew I'd be on the show today. And I told him, hey, we got to revisit this thing because I'm
Yeah.
in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Mr. Keeler is holding my feet right to the fire. And he totally apologized. His company has been expanding so fast in the poultry industry, chickens, turkeys, pigs.
Yeah.
Cattle is an issue, but he says it seems like it's the other animals that are very much big. So he's been so busy. He just got back from Puerto Rico. There's some large farms down in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And the Puerto Rican government hired him to come in and say, we got to
Really?
do something with this.
Yeah.
And so he plans on, in about a month, sometimes later this summer, he is going to make a trip to Oneida County. And he asked me, how do I get to you? How do I contact you? You know, the whole thing.
Well, you got to make sure he's in the studio. We got to talk
Right.
to him.
So
Yeah.
I will make sure I reach out to you. He's going to fly into Syracuse, and I'm going to introduce him to all the players. I'm going to set up a meeting when I have a confirmed date with the Oneida County Soil and Water and the agronomist at Cornell Cooperative Extension of Oneida County and yourself.
Beautiful.
And we're going to go visit some farms, and we're going to find out what he can do to help out the smell here in Oneida County.
Because you know what? I mean, you explained this to us that when it gets hot, sunny and hot, that is after a rain. That's a good time. Am I correct?
Prior to the rain.
Prior to the rain.
Apply it to the land.
Apply it, and then you wait for that. You want to stay away from the rain.
That's right.
Yeah.
You want to apply liquid manure just prior to a rain, so it literally washes it into the ground, and it sequesters the smell of the ammonia because it puts it back in the ground. And I heard you earlier stating, what we're going to do and how to handle it in the community. So my advice has never changed. What you do is if you know you're going to have a graduation party or you're going to have a 4th of July party coming up here in a week or 10 days, reach out to your farmer that's farming the land in your neighborhood and say, hey, listen, we're going to have a party at our home on such and such a day at roughly such and such a time. And the farmers will work with you. But you want to know the real secret? Invite the farmer.
Yeah.
Because he ain't going to want to smell it. But the reality is, guys.
You're right. If you're the farmer and you're at the party and the smell comes wafting in, you're going to be, you don't want to be that guy.
No, you ain't going to want to be at that party.
No.
You work with your farmer. Farmers are very, very responsive to the community needs because they have to live in the community too, and they're part of the community. And so what's happening now is, guys, the first cutting hay has already gone off the fields back during the drought we had here a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've been getting all this rain. When this rain stops here in I'm hoping next Thursday, Friday, like they're talking about coming up, the farmers are going to be out harvesting that second cutting right off again, that next crop of hay, and they are going to be looking for a rainy spell to come, and they're going to be applying that manure. This is the time window frame that's happening. So my advice to your listeners out there and the farmers that listen is be cognizant, because we all got to live in the same community, but the non-farm community, if you know you're going to have an activity at your home, contact the local farmer and let him know, and he'll be cognizant. And then the farmer, the farmers have responsibility too to let your neighbors know what's going on too.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Bill.
Good stuff. Ben, we always love having you come in.
And thank you for allowing me to be the voice of your Oneida County agriculture on WIBX.
And when you bring things like the dairy shake and the eggnog and cappuccino.
Next month, I'll bring you some ice cream.
Oh, boy.
We'll book that before you go.
All right, good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick break. News straight ahead, top of the hour, here on Monday morning at WIBX.
I'm Celeste Friend. I'm running for mayor of Utica. As mayor, public safety will be my top priority. I will hire a full-time, independent, qualified public safety commissioner who will be in charge of making our city safe for all of us, including safe streets, safe housing, and effective emergency response. Please vote for me in this month's Democratic primary. Early voting starts June 17th. Election Day is June 27th.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Celeste Friend.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Storms turn deadly in Indiana. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Look! Right there! Coming for us here! It's coming for you!
Thrills Bill posted that on Twitter as a tornado tore a path across Greenwood, ripping up homes, freaking people out.
Thinking, oh no, what's next? Luckily, we just heard the glass break. After that, we heard wind.
Something that sounded like you were at Niagara Falls, just roaring.
People describing homes and neighborhoods damaged or destroyed following a series of tornadoes that officials also blame on at least one death and injuries in Martin County in southwest Indiana.
That's Fox's Jeff Manasso. Just south of there are several 100,000 power outages from storms that hit from Kentucky to Tennessee to Arkansas. Russia is restoring calm after the weekend rebellion by Wagner Group mercenaries who've been helping Russia fight the war in Ukraine.
The man Wagner mercenaries
mercenaries demanded be removed is shown today visiting troops in Ukraine. We can't be sure when the images of Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu were filmed, but it's a clear attempt at a business-as-usual message from the Kremlin. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, though, among those warning this weekend's turmoil could take months to play out.
Fox's Jonathan Savage, Belarus's president, helped broker an end to the Wagner rebellion, working on a deal to let the group's leader Yevgeny Prigozhin go to Belarus to avoid facing charges over the insurrection in Russia. Now that the search for that missing submersible that imploded going down the tour of the Titanic shipwreck is a recovery mission, the Coast Guard has opened a probe. Here's investigator Jason Neubauer.
My primary goal is to prevent a similar occurrence by making the necessary recommendations to enhance the safety of the maritime domain worldwide.
All 5 on board the Titan submersible were killed. In Sweden, a roller coaster went off its rails at a Stockholm amusement park, throwing riders 25 feet to the ground. 1 was killed, 9 injured. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, I've told you about how Relief Factor helped me with my aches and pains. Let me tell you about Haven in Texas. Haven writes, I'm taking Relief Factor from my shoulder and lower back, and it works. No more pain. My husband started taking Relief Factor for his upper back and hip and didn't think it was working until he ran out and realized the pain was coming back. Relief Factor just works. We are so happy it's working for you and your husband like it does for thousands of others across America. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free solution developed by doctors to help your body attack the underlying inflammation causing pain. What activity would you like to be doing again? Your first step to becoming pain-free could just be to order the 3-week Quick Start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's 800-4RELIEF. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
Oh, we've got some sunshine trying to come out here. 69 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service, celebrating 70 years in business, 3 generations and counting. You can visit them online at clintontractor.net. A 26-year-old Rome man was killed in a single-vehicle crash after striking a tree in the town of Ansville. The accident happened around 11:45 on Saturday night. The United County Sheriff's Office says investigators believe that 26-year-old Christopher Rhodes was traveling on Meadows Road and failed to negotiate a curve. He went into the opposite lane of traffic and then a ditch where he struck a tree. Now, Rhodes was pronounced dead at the scene. The accident investigation is continuing. The Onondaga County Sheriff's Office says charges are pending against a man who's accused of shooting his wife in the head over the weekend. 79-year-old Sherman Cottrell dialed 911, telling dispatchers he had shot his 60-year-old wife, Donna, at their home on Kingston Road in Elbridge because she was bothering him. And the victim was rushed to Upstate University Hospital, where she's still listed in critical condition. The Sheriff's Office says police had never been called to that home prior to this incident. New legislation on the books in New York establishing the Empire State as a safe haven for transgender individuals. One measure ensures the state will protect transgender youth, their parents, and their doctors. Another law protects their right to receive addiction treatment and rehabilitation. New laws have also been signed that will update legal documents by removing stigmatization and outdated terminology. Officials say the bill will make sure that New York keeps leading on LGBTQ rights. And drivers in the Utica-Rome area paying a little bit more for gas this week than last. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel in our area is $3.78 a gallon, which is among the highest, if not the highest right now, upstate. That's a 3-cent increase from last week. Currently in New York State, the average is $3.69 a gallon. Our neighbors in Syracuse paying an average of $3.69 a gallon. And in Albany, they're paying $3.73. So we're about a nickel to a dime higher compared to our neighboring markets. The statewide average is also $3.69 a gallon. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for rain showers today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and beyond. Rain shower chances for much of the day today, with some storms producing small hail, gusty winds, and heavy rain. Today's high 83 degrees. Showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight. A low falling back to 65 degrees. Chance of showers and thunderstorms for your Tuesday. Again, some storms could produce gusty winds and heavy rain. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Tomorrow's high 79. Wednesday, showers and maybe another thunderstorm with a high of 73. Bill, right now we have cloudy skies and 69 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:06. All right, checking sports. The Mets. The Mets stealing defeat from the jaws of victory once again over the weekend. They allowed 4 runs in the 8th inning as the Phillies came back for a 7-6 victory. This was after Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor helped the Mets build that lead with home runs. They dropped to 35-42, and the Mets are at Citi Field tonight to open a 4-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers. The Yankees took the rubber match in their series against the Rangers Sunday, 5-3 the final. Michael King getting his 5th save. The Bronx Bombers now 43-35. They begin a 3-game series in Oakland coming up tomorrow night. Elsewhere in sports, the Suns planning to keep starting center DeAndre Ayton around for a while. Reports say that they would like Ayton to play with Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. The 24-year-old center averaged 18 points and 10 boards in 67 games last season in the desert. College World Series final coming up tonight. It's Game 3 in the best-of-3 series with 2-seed Florida State and 5th-seeded LSU. Florida pulled even in the series at a game apiece with a massive 24-4 victory on Sunday. Again, tonight is the decisive Game 3 coming to you from Omaha. Some golf and NASCAR action over the weekend. Ross Chastain wins the Ally 400. Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Larson round out the top 5. Keegan Bradley celebrates a win at the Travelers Championship. He shot a 68 in the final round to finish 23 under par yesterday. Brittany Griner has been named starter for the WNBA's upcoming All-Star Game. The league made the announcement Sunday, giving Griner the 9th All-Star nod of her career. That includes last year when she was named an honorary All-Star by the WNBA. Of course, at that time, she was still being held in Russia. And Central New York WNBA star Stewie, Brianna Stewart, is not only making the All-Star game in the WNBA this year, she's actually going to be a captain. She's now a 5-time All-Star, in addition to being a 4-time NCAA champion and a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. The WNBA All-Star game set for July 15th in Las Vegas.
So I don't know if you followed any of the Russia stuff over the weekend, but it was, they were on the verge of a revolution. It was incredible. So we're learning today, though, that what it seemed that this man who was at one point the catering chef for Vladimir Putin and has headed up this military, this paid military that has been assisting in fighting the Ukraine war, decided to speak out against Putin and actually was marching his forces to Moscow and had taken over one Russian city. It looked like they were in the middle of a civil war. Then out of nowhere, a deal was brokered. They were just going to drop everything. Did you think for a minute that there's any way that this guy doesn't get poisoned or attacked in some way, right?
Yeah.
And now the Russians are saying we're not, the charges still stand. No deal has been brokered where we're dropping any charges. We'll get an update from Jonathan Savage on the very latest and what's going on right now in Russia.
Interesting.
Coming up.
That mercenary, Yevgeny Prigozhin, he was under the impression that all of the charges against him would be dropped if he went into exile. But as you said, there are some conflicting reports today about what's actually going on there. And what stopped the, what do you call it, an incursion, the coup, the revolution?
It was the president of Belarus who brokered a deal, and all of a sudden, the report came back that said we're no longer marching on Moscow. We've turned our troops around, and we're heading back to Ukraine. Just an odd bit of occurrence that we saw over the weekend. We'll get an update, the very latest update from Jonathan Savage from Fox News coming up in a few minutes. And I don't know how you would be if you were attacked by an alligator and it was bad. This 13-year-old from Florida was all good when she called 911. Nope, I'm fine. I'm going to be okay. We'll give you that story coming up in a second. 8:11 on Monday morning at WIBX.
Utica has been my home for the past 63 years. 35 years of business in the private sector and a business owner for 20. Over 20 years of serving Utica as a professional firefighter. Past chairman of the Public Safety Committee, 3-term elected council at large, making Utica a better place to live. Experience matters.
Elect endorsed Democratic candidate Frank DeBrango on primary day, June 27th. Paid for by Friends of Frank DeBrango.
Hi, I'm Bill Morehouse. I'm the Chief Financial Officer of the City of Utica. The city is on an upward trajectory. We need to maintain that trajectory. We need a leader with honesty, integrity, and someone who can truly lead our city forward. That person is Frank DeBrango. He has the experience, he has the knowledge. I'll be voting for Frank DeBrango on June 27th primary day, and I hope you'll join me. It's very important for the Democratic Party that we make this happen. Frank DeBrango, the next mayor of the city of Utica.
Paid for by Friends of Frank DeBrango.
High school graduation is just weeks away. Before you know it, you'll be packing up all of the new things you bought for your dorm room and heading off to college to start your next chapter. More independence, new friends, and new adventures. But wait, have you opened your new campus checking account at Adirondack Bank yet? Adirondack's campus checking has all of the features you're looking for, including no monthly minimum balance requirements, no monthly service charge, electronic and mobile banking capabilities, which is a must for a college student on the go, and up to $15 in ATM withdrawal fees waived per statement cycle. Stop into any of our conveniently located branches today to open your new campus checking account and receive a free gift. Let us help you get off to a great financial start. A minimum deposit of $25 is required at account opening. Member FDIC.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I think my battery's dead.
With free battery testing and charging, AutoZone is here to help.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
What if I need a new one?
We have the right batteries right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what if I don't know how to connect it?
No problem. We have a how-to for you at AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Paid for by Friends of Bob Cardillo. Galimi clip courtesy Talk of the Town 100.7 FM.
How can he really do that?
I don't know. How do you work 2 jobs, serve 2 bosses? I mean, being mayor is full-time enough.
And what's your real job? Being mayor or your private sector work?
Remember what he said on the radio.
Yes, I will be spending 10 hours, so many hours, making sure I could fund a 401k so I could still keep my private sector retirement.
Being mayor is a full-time job. You need to be committed to be mayor. I'll be a full-time mayor for a full-time job. Let's cut crime, combat inflation, and keep our college graduates local. Vote Bob Cardillo, primary day, June 27th. I'm Bob Cardillo, and I approve this message.
Hi, it's Jordan from Little Falls Lumber. Summer is a great time to freshen up the look of your home, and we have you covered. We stock a variety of name brand products from GAF shingles, LP vinyl siding, Sierra Pacific windows, to Moisture Shield composite decking, and premium grade pressure treated decking. We have options to fit any budget. Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations, Little Falls, Syracuse, and Schenectady, to see what we have in store, or visit us at littlefallslumber.com.
Hey, if you're looking for concrete work at your home or your business, nobody any better when it comes to concrete and masonry work than Brank Construction. BRANCK, Brank Construction. Call them today at 315-894-3481. Concrete driveways, sidewalks, repair to old stone walls or block walls. You need a retaining wall. Anything to do with concrete or masonry work, it's Brank Construction. Call them today, 315-894-3481, Brank Construction.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, a couple of items. Let's start with the alligator attack in Florida. Love this story. And it was a boy. I thought it was Gabriella. It's Gabriel. Gabriel is the name of the Florida teen, just a 13-year-old, who was attacked by an alligator. Called 911 earlier in the week, calmly telling dispatchers, "I've been attacked, but I'm good. I'm okay, though. I can walk. I can stand. I'm fine. It just stings a little bit, but I'm good," he told the operator. He started by saying, "I just got bit by a gator."
Wow.
How would you? I guess the best way to react would not to be overly panic. If you panic, you're probably not doing yourself any good.
Yeah, that's a lot of times when stuff goes wrong is when you panic. But what prompted the attack? I guess I'm interested.
He was cooling off in in the shallow end of water in a creek in Winter Springs, Florida, when the alligator came right up and grabbed him.
You couldn't pay me money to go in a creek or a pond in Florida.
I mean, I got to tell you something. You find gators show up in pools. They're everywhere there. I was going to get up, and the gator just started pulling me back under and just jumped up and grabbed me, he recalled. I was just like hitting it in the head, and then it let go, and I ran up onto the sand. His friends helped him call 911. He was rushed to Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children with a wound that stretched from above his hip down to his thigh.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was calm and said, "I'm okay."
Well, he's lucky.
Initially, his mom said, "We were thinking the worst, but once paramedics came, we realized he was going to be okay." They said, "We're going straight to Arnold Palmer with your son." I said, "Oh, Arnold Palmer, is it that bad?" she said. And they said yes. But the kid was calm.
Oh, well, again, I feel like he's lucky to. He was able to stand, was able to walk, so he's lucky.
No doubt. No doubt about it. Let's talk about tomorrow. Do you want to make any predictions on tomorrow's primary? I got to say that Utica especially, I don't know that I could predict anything in Utica.
Yeah. So I guess I have a couple of thoughts, but I don't know.
I'm thinking the Democratic primary.
Yeah.
And the Republican. I'm not sure which way it's going to go.
So I think. Okay, you want a prediction? Here we go. I didn't hash this out. I'm going to go 60-40, Galimi over Cardillo. Okay, and this is not a preference thing. I don't live in Utica anymore. I don't vote in Utica.
60-40?
60-40. Yeah, that's
okay.
58-42, something in that neighborhood.
Okay.
All right, and then I actually think. Frank DeBrango is going to do better than I initially thought. I do get some feedback. A lot of the feedback on Celeste that I get, and I think she's come on the show. She answers the questions. Whether or not you like her answers is up to you. But I do get from a lot of people she is, they don't say extreme. I'm struggling with the word, but she's too far left. She's too liberal, too woke, I guess. I guess that's a word I've heard used about her before. Now, I think when she comes on, maybe you get a different impression if you listen to her interviews, but that's the feedback I get from people. So I'm going to say I think DeBrango actually pulls this one out.
That's what you would think would happen, right? Because he's backed by the establishment. Frank Miola has a pretty good track record, I think, when it comes to supporting candidates, and I'm pretty sure Miola is backing DeBrango. But I have to say, she has a very large following, and Utica is a very democratic city. This is a primary. You don't know who's going to turn out. Really, it comes down to low turnout, right? When there's low turnout, anything can happen. I would not be. I'm not willing to make a prediction on it. I would not be.
Oh, well, thanks for letting me go first.
Sorry. I wouldn't be surprised if either one wins that race. I would not be surprised.
And then I got a message here. As I was answering, it says, and your prediction on the Rome mayor's primary or the Republican line primary.
Well, I would be. I certainly, because I do media for Jackie Izzo, it would be improper for me to even make a prediction on that.
This person said, I'm 70-30 Izzo.
Okay.
70-30 Izzo, they think. So this person doesn't, I wouldn't say that's a close race. I mean, that's 3 out of 4 base. It's almost 75-25. So
I'm not willing to put my foot in the water there. Now, on the Republican primary in Utica, I would have thought this would be a runaway by, and I'll give you my opinion on this one. I would have thought this would have been a runaway by Galimi, and I think this is going to be close. And I would just say, from looking from the outside looking in, I think Galimi's made a big mistake by not answering to all of the accusations that Cardillo has made, and really he's hung his hat on this issue of being a full-time mayor.
Well, so let me ask you this for clarification. You think Galimi's mistake is that he's been in a defensive mode over this issue, or he has not counterpunched with criticisms on Cardillo?
I wouldn't have. First of all, I don't know that I would have even gotten into the whole thing. I think the mistake came early when he said, "Well, I've already gone to my." He explained it to us. He talked to us on the air about this. That he talked to his boss and his company, and they're going to allow him to work, I don't know, 10 hours a week, something like that. I wouldn't have gotten into it. I just think the fact that he was talking about it was the mistake. But then he's allowed Cardillo to really kind of set the agenda, set the framework for what people are talking about. And I hear a lot of people focusing on the issue of being a full-time mayor. And if I were Galimi, I'd be running some commercials dirtying up Bob Cardillo.
Yeah, in regard to the school board, I think is what you're. Certainly, that's the approach I would take.
It's all there. You've got all of that stuff. You've got the fact that he's run before. You know, there's which I don't think is necessarily fair, but this is what he brought up on the air. The loan that his company ended up going bankrupt. Listen, that happens. It happens often when a company when they take government funds and they try to make it work and the company doesn't work. It doesn't come out of the owner of the company. It would be the company. If the company folds, and that's what happened with Cardillo many years ago. And it was a long time ago. So, but you still have that there. You have the school board. You have him basically not walking away from the former or the current superintendent who's on leave, Bruce Karam. I would have gone down that road and at least done some commercials that focused on Cardillo and really set the talking points. And they haven't done. He hasn't done any of that. In fact, is Galimi even doing TV? I haven't seen much TV at all.
I don't watch much TV.
He's doing radio.
I haven't seen any.
He's doing radio. But again, I don't know. I think that could be a tight race.
I've seen a lot on social media from Mike, so I'm not sure. The other thing is,
social media is important, but you cannot forget this is an older community and it's a primary.
Yeah.
You are not going to get a huge young turnout in a primary.
Yeah,
I don't believe.
So it'll be.
I mean, I could be wrong.
It'll be interesting to see. Also, we're going to talk this week.
And what I mean by that is you have to consider traditional forms of media.
Right. Oh, right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And again, Cardillo is a name. If you've lived here for a long time, you'd recognize more than Galimi, right? I mean, I know he's 2 terms as the council president. Mike is. But, you know, Cardillo's been in this community for a long time. Has he run for he's run for mayor before, but again, that was, 12 years ago. But no, I agree with your point. There's a lot of older voters who aren't searching Facebook for the latest stance on your latest stance on an issue. So,
let's see. Rob says Cardillo's ad about Kermit. I don't get that.
He's calling. Whoever's texting you is calling Mike Kermit the Frog.
Oh, okay. Do you think he sounds like Kermit the Frog?
I think a little effort on Mike's part would make him a great impressionist of Kermit the Frog.
Okay, all right. This is Rob. Cardillo's ad about Mike Galimi keeping his other job is effective. Okay. Well, let's see what comes tomorrow.
I'm not looking to argue, but I just want to say this. Look, for instance, this show. We can't do this show from 3 to 6 p.m. on Monday. Or we can't say, we're going to do Monday's show on Friday. My point being, my understanding is with the work Mike does, he can kind of do it when he wants to do it, right? It's not like it's got to be done sitting at a desk from this time to this time every day. So And that was what I gathered based on his explanation of it. But I do think those ads have been effective. There's the line about serving two bosses and all this other stuff.
Well, when you think about
10
it,
hours a week is less than a part-time job, significantly less.
Tim Julian had another job, and Mayor Raffaello had another job. You have many. Hannah had certainly a lot of other interests and a lot of other revenue streams. Otherwise, many of these people couldn't afford to do the job. But it was made an issue. Cardillo made it an issue, and I just don't think that Galimi has done a really good job of answering to it. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's fair.
And how much will it resonate with voters? The scary part about a primary is if you don't get your vote out, and it's the case with every single race, whether it's DeBrango or Celeste Friend, whether it's this race, it could be the Izzo race in Lanigan race in Rome. If the turnout is low, which it's expected, it all depends. Do you get your vote out? Mm-hmm. And you could get an upset easily in a primary because the turnout is so low. So it's going to be an interesting day. I think Wednesday is going to be a very, very interesting morning on the radio.
Now, this is something that happens, unfortunately, every so often. Do you think by Wednesday morning we're going to know who's won? Sometimes there's delays.
You don't know. These could be really close. But I would think that the turnout would be low enough where the count should not be that, and there aren't that many races. I would assume they should be able to get the count finished. But you'll have absentee ballots and that sort of thing. If it's really close, you might not know the winner. Remember, in these races, the absentee ballot has to be in by Election Day. So the absentee ballots will come afterwards.
And forgive my ignorance here. This Rome mayoral primary, is that essentially the race? Is there a Democrat in the race?
There is not, but I believe he will have another line, Lanigan. So even if he loses, I think he'll be on the ticket in November.
Okay.
Interesting. And that's the case in the Utica races as well, with the exception of Galimi, who is not on that second line. Now, the other part about the second line, I've heard a lot of people talk about that. My opinion on his second line, because he said, well, it doesn't mean anything. We really didn't push that hard to get the second line anyway. I feel like it's important because let's say Galimi wins, Cardillo stays in the race as a conservative. Now you're splitting the Republican Party. So to have another line like a Utica first line or something like that, I think becomes really important because I think Galimi could get Democrats to vote for him. But some Democrats will never vote Republican. So if you have a third-party line, it allows them to be able to vote for a Republican but not vote Republican.
Right.
And that's why
point.
I think that line is more important than he's saying it is. And he's going to contest it, but I don't know. He may not be on a third-party line.
So, and then I have to ask this question as well. If I'm not mistaken here, the challenge to Galimi's other party was from the. I don't want to say his name and blame it all on him, but it was from the caucus group. I think it was Jim Zecca involved.
It was.
Jim was sending me info, and I appreciate him sending that. On
they're the same ones that were complaining that Hennessy was knocked off the.
That's my point. So when they challenged Hennessy's,
it's okay if we do it. If we do it, but if someone does it to us, it's wrong. And you're taking away the public's ability to vote, and it's un-American, unless we do it, and then it's American.
My thoughts exactly.
Let me give you one more before I break here, and this is on the issue of Galimi and the third-party line. You don't have to go too far back to see a great example of this. So Sheriff Rob Mashel was a Democrat. Now, when you look at the sheriff, I feel like he's one of those people where I don't see a party when I see Rob Mashel. If anything, he'd be considered not a moderate, but a conservative conservative Democrat.
Sure.
So he was endorsed by the conservative line. He was on the conservative line. He was on the Republican line. Democrats crossed over. I mean, he won 80-20. it was an enormous win for Sheriff Mashel. But the number of votes broke a record for the conservative line. He received more conservative votes than anyone has ever received on the conservative line in Oneida County. And that's because so many Democrats are like, I'm not voting Republican, but I'll vote conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And he won 80-20. That was now he was going to win anyway, but that's a great example of what that could do for Galimi.
But what you're saying, though, is that the Republicans wouldn't vote Democrat,
what I'm saying,
right?
No, correct. That's
Yeah.
I reversed it. So in this case, it was Republicans would not vote Democrat, but they would vote conservative. And I think you could have the same type of thing. I don't know how many Democrats are going to vote conservative, but if it's a Utica first line, I could see a Democrat voting for Galimi on a third party line like that. Take it for what it is. We'll see you on Wednesday morning.
So do you want this here? I know Jim doesn't mention, but I just happened to mention his name and immediately got a text message back. It says here, he's saying, support Cardillo. Here are the facts, folks. Some candidates make promises to get elected. And then he goes down some stats here. When a candidate insists he will hold both jobs at once so he can preserve his 401k and still devote 24/7 to being a full-time mayor, paying $100,000 plus benefits and the use of a car. Mike Galimi, I don't think so. Again, this is from Jim Zecca. He already had citywide candidates in the past make promises like this and never keep it, so let's not get fooled again. And then he followed it up with a story from our website about current comptroller Bill Morehouse and his pledge to not take health care and only take $1 salary, which ultimately never happened. So Jim Zecca is saying this is...
I find this so amazing when you look at the... wasn't it Zecca versus Morehouse?
Yeah.
For comptroller? Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, there were major issues with the Utica Ford petitions, and Bob's campaign manager, Lou, knew that I had been reviewing petitions previously and asked for help with reviewing, which I did. The issue of fraud was never addressed by the Oneida County Board of Elections. So, again, these are signature issues. It's the same thing that happened with Mike Hennessy. I don't understand the differentiation.
And
Jim, you can call me later and explain it if you like. Or you can call in now.
That's what this person is saying. Caucus challenged Galimi's independent line. Not sure how only Galimi gets knocked off when there was a slate on the petition. Very interesting how that happened. I don't know how that happened. I got a break, though. Hold tight. 8:33 at WIBX.
Here's what Romans are saying about the importance of voting Mayor Jackie Izzo in Tuesday's Republican primary. Former Rome Hospital trustee Kim Cook.
I feel that 4 more years would give her, time to complete some of the projects that are in process now.
Businessman Kevin Berry.
What do they say that when you're on a winning team, stick with the winners? Well, Jackie's a winner, so I hope that the people of Rome realize just how hard she works for them.
Vote early through Sunday. The Republican primary is this Tuesday from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. Paid for by friends of Jackie Izzo.
Hi, this is Bill Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We are expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville. They are another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy and fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here is William Schaub from the newest Gates Cole agency, North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville.
Working with us as an independent agent with this many companies, we will often call our clients and say, we're going to reduce your premium if you like. We have the companies that do well in New York and specifically this area. The coverages that we provide are commercial and personal insurance. That's the home, the auto, ATV, motorcycle. There's nothing more fun than taking care of a customer and being able to tell them that we're able to save them some money.
Proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York. Gates Cole Insurance. We'll take care of you.
I'm Celeste Friend. I'm running for mayor of Utica. My opponent has consistently voted against change, opposed new ideas for growing our city, and sided with the Republican minority on the council. I'm ready to move this city forward. Together, let's build a city worthy of our children and grandchildren. Please vote for me in this month's Democratic primary. Early voting starts June 17th. Election Day is June 27th.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Celeste Friend.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Washed and waxed?
Check.
Gassed up?
Got it.
What about that check engine light?
That,
You know you gotta treat your car right.
I know.
Then you should know about the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. Head on over to AutoZone, get your engine light checked, and get a report for free. Don't even take a minute.
Free AutoZone Fix Finder service.
Your car will thank you, and then you can thank me.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Mike Delaney. When elected mayor, backed by 8 years of direct action with the people as council president and decades of professional experience, I will establish a new roadmap for our city based on the needs and concerns garnered from your doorsteps. Standing alongside you as a fellow citizen, I will lead as a trustee of our tax dollars with a keen attention to detail, committed to setting policies that will improve the delivery of all city services, holding our government accountable. Send the right candidate to the general this year. June 27th, vote Mike Galimi for mayor.
Paid for by Mike for Mayor.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and they're accepting new patients right now. If you're in need of a new family doctor, or if you're having some medical issues and you need to get to the bottom of them, and you've tried and you've gotten nowhere, think about Dr. Shemileski, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Kosminski, all under one roof at the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Call today and schedule an appointment, 315-507-4751. 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, 8:37, and Liberal Lou is on the line right now. Lou, good morning.
Stop.
Good morning, Lou. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, you're only Democratic caller. What do you think, Bill?
That's right. Well, what else? I mean, it has a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
Liberal Lou.
One Democratic caller is we would like more, but
There's one too many. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Lou. I love when you call in. I love the exchange of ideas. Good morning.
What do you have, Lou?
Thank you, Jeff. All right. Ryan Nobles, who does a great job on your show, really, really enjoy him when he's on. Factual, knowledgeable. Was surprised last time he could not answer a question Jeff had for him. It was regarding a video of Biden bragging that he had the prosecutor in the Ukraine, Viktor Shokov was his name, fired. And I was kind of shocked that Ryan wasn't aware of this, because it absolutely is credible video. It did happen. Biden did brag about this, but we all know why he did, Jeff. I don't know if you're familiar. Now, you can go to all the fact checkers. They all, PolitiFact.com, USA Today, the AP, Snopes, they will all tell you what I'm going to tell you. The reason the guy was fired was because everyone knew he was corrupt. The International Monetary Fund was planning on investing $40 billion in the Ukraine, and they were not going to do this with Shokin in office. The European Union was calling for his removal before they would help the Ukraine, a fledgling democracy. And, I'll give you, here's a quote. This is from a guy named Stephen Pfeiffer. He was a former ambassador to the Ukraine. He was George Bush's assistant secretary of state for Europe. He said that everyone in our government and all outside experts knew that Shokin was corrupt to the core and should be fired. All agreed with the vice president withholding aid till Shokin was removed. It had nothing to do with his son, and the story about his son getting entangled in this firing was started by the Russians.
Okay,
by Putin.
I want you to, Lou. I want you to hold for a second, because I do have some breaking news that I want to get to, and I will come back to you, Lou. So stand by. But if you've been following any of what's happened,
feel free to keep talking while you're on hold.
Over the weekend, hold on, Lou. Over the weekend with Russia, it was riveting to watch. Where are we today? Jonathan Savage is with us right now from Fox News Radio with an update. Jonathan, what do we know this morning? There seemed to be some changes in the story this morning.
Yes. Now, Russia, they appear to be trying to calm things down internally. It's a day off for everybody in Moscow after the fright of Saturday, when it seemed like thousands of this private army troops were marching up the road towards the gates of Moscow. Well, today they are trying to calm things down. Russian state television has shown the defense minister Sergei Shoigu visiting troops, although it's not clear when that was recorded. Remember, he was at the heart of all this. He was one of the men that the head of the Wagner group wanted removed and was trying to force the elimination of. Well, he's still in his post. President Putin has appeared in a video, the first time he's appeared since the weekend, but making no mention of these developments. And we still don't know exactly where the head of the Wagner group, the man who fomented this mutiny, Yevgeny Prigozhin, actually is. He was supposed to be going to Belarus to essentially live in exile, but we haven't heard from him for some time, and he's not normally someone to keep quiet voluntarily.
What does this do for, I mean, imagine, I'm trying to think of what it would be like in this country, and, we did have January 6th, which was far different, and the ending was different, of course, but there was no day off. It's not like to say we're all taking Monday off is almost admitting that this was a potential coup, that the government was or is fragile. Does this carry over to Putin? I don't know how he can look and look as strong as he was prior to this.
Well, let's look at the words Vladimir Putin used on television. He said at the beginning of this, it was a criminal adventure, a grievous crime, treason, blackmail, and terrorism. But it was only a few hours after that he'd reached a deal with the man behind all that, suggesting that all criminal charges had been dropped. Although this morning, there perhaps is a contradiction even to that, with the TASS state news agency in Russia saying that the criminal investigation is continuing. So Vladimir Putin, a man who says he can forgive most things, but he cannot forgive treason, may well get his vengeance after all.
Yeah, wow. Okay, we'll see what comes of this. And also, one last note on this. It also left an opening for Ukraine.
Yes, Ukraine absolutely hoping that this distracts the Russian military and the Russian people, and have been watching on intently. In fact, one arm of the Ukrainian government tweeted a popcorn emoji a few days ago. It's a morale boost, that's for sure, for the Ukrainian soldiers as they continue their counteroffensive. No doubt they will be enthused by this.
If you're a Russian citizen, you were just told that you were lied to. The casualties are far worse than what we're being told. It's going to be very interesting to see how the Russian people react to this going forward.
It is, and it's worth noting that many of them welcomed the Wagner troops into the city of Rostov, a million-strong city where they initially marched on late on Friday. And as you say, one of the things that Yevgeny Prigozhin says was debunking what Russia has been told was the reason for the war, the demilitarization, denazification of Ukraine. He debunked all that. He said that was all nonsense, that you've been led to this war under false pretenses. So let's see if that message gets through or whether the Russian people dismiss it.
Great stuff. Jonathan Savage, thank you so much for the update. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
Right. Jonathan Savage from Fox News Radio. Yeah, you got to wonder, or there's more resistance in Russia today than probably has been in a long time, and you wonder if this crack in the Putin infrastructure creates an opening for another group to stand up to Putin. It's going to be very interesting how they go forward with all of this. All right, we were talking to Liberal Lou. I'm going to break and come back. Lou, stand by. I'll let you have your case. Manansky will go head-to-head with you coming right up. It's 8:44 at WIBX.
Hi, this is Lori with Express Employment Professionals. Are you looking for a new job, a career change, a position within your field? Express Employment Professionals is the staffing firm for you. Express has multiple job opportunities across many industries throughout our region. Are you an IT professional? Find that perfect company now. CNC machinists, HVAC and boiler mechanics? We've got the job for you. Are you a warehouse worker, machine operator, forklift driver? Find a better job now. Industrial painters, sheet metal workers? Find that new job now. Carpenters, welders, the skilled trades? You're in demand. Bookkeepers, supply chain specialists, and administrative professionals, start a new career today. Our process is easy. Go to expressmohawkvalley.com to complete our online application and apply now. Our recruiters will call you to set up a meeting. You can also call our office at 315-790-5723. Express Employment Professionals. We make it our business to put you to work.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Celeste Friend. I'm running for mayor of Utica. I run big, people-powered campaigns, and that is how I will govern. I'll engage all of us in the choices that determine the quality of our lives. For a government that is transparent and a mayor who knows how to communicate, then please vote for me in this month's Democratic primary. Early voting starts June 17th. Election Day is June 27th.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Celeste Friend.
Hey, if you want to win windows, you can do so by going to our website at WIBX950.com. Click on the menu bar, Keeler, and you'll see the window contest where you could win the same windows we received at our home. 4 beautiful, top-quality, double-hung windows, and all coming and installed by New York Sash. No purchase necessary. It's the independent sale going on right now at New York Sash, and they're celebrating by bringing back the biggest sale of the year. Buy 2 New York Sash windows, get 1 free is happening now for a limited time. Or take advantage of 50% off the installation of your new bath. Time to free yourself from old windows and bathrooms. Get the upgrade you've always wanted and save big during the New York Sash independent sale. Buy 2 New York Sash windows, get 1 free. Buy 4, get 2 free, etc. There's no limit. Or get 50% off your bath installation. Whether it's a shower conversion or remodeling that outdated tub, the independent sale is going on now. Shop online or visit New York Sash in the showroom. Or, of course, you can always go online at NewYorkSash.com. The showroom is located on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. And be sure to go to WIBX950.com and sign up to win those free windows from New York Sash.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Manaski, it's 8:49, and Liberal Lou had his say, and I really wanted to get that update on Russia. But Manaski, go ahead. Lou, you're there?
Yes, I am.
Hey,
Lou. Good
thanks
morning.
for waiting, Lou. So I'll just say this: I don't have any facts to dispute what you just said about this claim that this prosecutor was corrupt. And that might have been the reason he was fired. I know the
What was the reason?
As I say, the other side claims it was because there was a probe into Hunter Biden. But now let me ask you this.
Can I respond to that?
Go ahead. I didn't disagree with you, but go ahead. Yeah.
Well, first of all, there was no probe into Hunter Biden. That's exactly why this guy was fired, because he wasn't investigating anybody. He was taking kickbacks. 60 Minutes did an expose on this guy. You can go find it, Jeff. Please find it. So what you'll see on 60 Minutes, the guy was corrupt to the bone. They went to the apartments of the prosecutors he was working with. These were officials in Kiev, police in Kiev, went to these prosecutors' apartments. You'll see this on the 60 Minutes. They found boxes full of cash, full of diamonds, other valuable jewelry. Corrupt to the bone. Senator Johnson, who was a strong Trump ally, this Johnson from Wisconsin, he ran an investigation in 2019, Republican run, in the United States Senate. They concluded no evidence of wrongdoing by Joe Biden. In fact, Johnson, prior to this, sent the letter off, signed the letter, I'm sorry, with 8 other senators from the applicable committee to the Ukrainians, stating that Shokin must be removed and a complete overhaul of his office must take place before the United States will support you. The guy, this is Johnson saying Shokin must be fired. A month later, he was fired. Obama sent Biden to do this. We had $1 billion we were going to give them. This was Obama's doing, not Biden's doing. Obama was told by his State Department the man must be removed. Every official in government knew he was super corrupt, and the country should not be supported until he was removed. So,
all right, let me.
There's no question about it. Go to the fact checks and read them, Jeff, and tell me what you think.
Okay, can I just point out one thing on your fact checks?
Sure.
There's 2 things here. First of all, I want to get into this. What's in the New York Post today? First son Hunter Biden warned a Chinese business associate, and I have the message here. I'm sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment you made has not been fulfilled. Hunter Biden wrote.
And this was something that Ryan talked about last week. The problem they have with that recording is that you never hear Joe Biden on the recording.
Correct.
That's the difficulty with that. And so,
Jeff, can I add? We know Hunter Biden was a crack cocaine addict.
Yep.
I mean, do you think he wouldn't lie about something like his father being next to him?
No, he absolutely would, Lou. Lou, again, I'm not.
Was a disgrace.
Lou, I'm not disagreeing with your point.
Hold on.
I'm not disagreeing with that point.
There's a great article in Utica OD. I don't know if you happen to read that. Not this Sunday's, but last Sunday's Utica OD, Jeff, I would urge you to read the article about Hunter Biden, how he's trying to turn his life around, and how his addiction is being weaponized by the Republicans to disgrace his entire family, who aren't responsible for his activities. The guy was a lying lawyer, as most crack addicts are, and he did a lot of disgraceful things.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you.
Okay, so if Eric Trump, if there was a text message that Eric Trump had sent something to Putin or a Russian business that said, "Hey, look, we told you to do something. Now my father's here, and we're going to take action unless you do it," that wouldn't throw shade on Donald Trump?
Not, in my opinion, not if Eric was a crack cocaine addict.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. So you bring up the Trumps, and you're worried about Hunter Biden.
Before we move on,
Jared Kushner got a $2 billion investment from China almost immediately after he left the government.
Okay.
You familiar with that? $2 billion.
No, but
Hunter
can
Biden
I tell you, Lou?
Maybe have made
too much information overload going on.
It is. But
hold on.
I think he should be investigating. I think they should look at that.
They
should absolutely look at that.
But why isn't Comer investigating that? We know why Comer's doing it.
For the same reason Democrats don't investigate Democrats is the reason Comer's not investigating Republicans. That's why.
So
same exact reason.
I do think
Comer's the guy who's in charge right now. I mean, the Democrats don't have responsibility. He definitely should be. And I hope when Democrats gain control.
When Democrats were in control, all I heard was that
of Comer's department that they do. But Comer,
Trump and Putin were working together.
Democrats
Whatever happened to collusion?
To investigate that, but he will not do it because it's not. He's not going to make political hay from doing it.
I hate doing this because it seems like I'm defending Trump, and I'm not.
The campaign was picked up by Rudy Giuliani.
All right, you're going way too deep on me, Lou. Lou, you got to stop. Lou.
Extortion of Zelensky.
Right. Okay, hold on tight.
And this is not in defense of Trump. Can I just do
topic we're discussing?
One thing here.
People always hate it when I turn the pot down.
Yeah.
But they love it when I do it here. That's really interesting. All right, Lou, hold tight.
I have one thing on a fact check.
We're going
Go ahead.
Too deep. Go ahead.
All right, on this fact check, I'm just going to read you a story. This is from the Associated Press. And my point being, and you know this, Lou, not everything that you read is true. I'm going to read you here an AP fact check, okay? This is an AP fact check from December of 2020. 5 stubborn myths surround COVID-19 that were shared this year. The myth: masks do not offer protection from the virus. Now we know it's limited protection, but here's the big one. Ready? The virus was man-made. This is an AP fact check. It was not. Social media users and fringe websites weave together a conspiracy theory that the virus was leaked, either accidentally or intentionally, but it was leaked from a lab in Wuhan, China. There is more evidence that that happened today than ever before. Yet 3 years ago, it was a fact check false.
The point is, there is not any more evidence of that today. It is still unknown.
There was 3 years.
It is still unknown. These are all we're surmising, putting pieces together in the way that China has reacted. There is no more evidence today. It's just I assume that's where it came from.
Okay, but the top 10 list you had from the New York Post last week, those are all things we didn't know in 2020. 3 years ago,
Well,
we didn't know those
but that
things.
was an opinion piece from the New York Post.
So, but Jeff, what you're saying is that you're taking a fact check that turned out to maybe be incorrect, and you're saying that all of these 6 fact checks on Hunter Biden, these are factual things that everybody knows. There is no question.
Well, and on the issue of to be fair, on the issue on the AP 2020 story about the origins of COVID, we don't know that it was. We don't know that it wasn't.
My objection, though, is that it's a fact check false.
That's
they
wrong.
don't know.
I believe that's wrong.
They don't know.
You can't question them. We know that the European Union said this prosecutor's got to go. I mean, this is a fact.
Right.
Everybody knows this. We know that the International Monetary Fund said he's got to go. We know that he was corrupt to the bone. Go look at the 60 Minutes.
That's fine. Let's say that, and I do recall that, and let's say that's completely innocent, and he was acting on behalf of the country and not on behalf of his son. There's still a lot out there, and and while this recording does not have Biden's voice on it, it certainly does warrant the investigation that is going on. Would you at least agree with that?
No, investigated. One of the reasons they wanted Chokin fired, he wasn't doing his job.
Yeah. Well, I get that. I get that. But you must agree, though, that with everything that is out there, from the laptop to the dealings to if Biden was not with his son when he said, I'm sitting here with my dad. I don't know why you wouldn't just put his dad on the phone. It doesn't make any sense, right? But all of this is worthy of an investigation. Would you agree with that?
Clean, non-corruption career. Comer is just, trying to scam the American public and smear Biden, just like Trump did when he said to Zelensky, hey, can you just start an investigation? You don't even have to investigate him. Just announce it to CNN. Just announce that you're starting a corruption investigation. That's all it's all about, Jeff. I mean, if you can't see that, please go read the fact checks. Go look at the 60 Minutes program. It's nonsense.
I don't 100% agree with your point, but if you want me to admit that, then please admit that the 4 years of Russia collusion and all the conspiracies that were out there about Trump that were being investigations led by Democrats in Congress turned out to not be true.
The Democrats weren't leading investigations. The investigation was done by Mueller, who was appointed by
the Adam Schiff and the little guy from New York.
Okay. I hate to do this. I hate to say this, Lou, but we are out of time.
No, sorry. I won't agree with that. Sorry.
Where it looked like Trump people. Look at the top one. Trump's top guy, the head of his campaign, met. This is in the Mueller investigation, met with a former KGB Russian agent, and he gave this guy all of the Republican Party polling information, secret polling information. He gave to this Russian to use in their attempts to smear him.
If we were only FM, I'd put Lou on the left channel, and we'd be on the right channel. And you could make your choice.
There were 10 different.
Please make sure I'm in the right channel.
Investigation pointed out.
I gotta go.
We're okay.
I do have to go. We're up against the.
No, you're wrong, Jeff. You're wrong at that point too.
All right.
There was collusion.
WIBX Utica Rome. Lou, have a wonderful day. We'll chat again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lou.
Russia is in recovery mode. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After a weekend rebellion that House Speaker Kevin McCarthy just told Fox shows leader Vladimir Putin is weakening as the Wagner Group's leader led an uprising.
For his ability to get that close to Moscow without the Air Force taking him out, that's got to be scary.
What does it say to you? When the uprising ended, that Wagner leader was allowed to go to Belarus to avoid being prosecuted.
The Russian government says Russian President Vladimir Putin has spoken by phone with the leaders of Iran and Qatar. It could be an effort to reinforce his standing on the world stage after this weekend. We saw the developments in Russia where we saw the military revolt against his regime.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. In North Korea, more than 100,000 people showed up at anti-American rallies,
marking the 73rd anniversary of the start of the Korean War, which North Korea tells its people